Now, in the last video, we saw how to create an Ajax method, which allows us to load data from the server without refreshing the page. And we included the URL, which is going to send the request, the post, the data, and a callback. Now, before we create the insert.php file, we need to create the user sign up table inside the database. Now, to do that, we go to our browser and we type localhost. We type localhost, then the dashboard will appear. On the top, we see the phpMyAdmin link. We click on it to take us to the phpMyAdmin database, which is the application that holds the MySQL database that we are using. So inside this database, we already have our database created. So inside our database, we are going to create a table for sign up that will hold the data for sign up. So we click on the database that we created called CRUD app. We click on it, and it's going to request for us to create a table. The table we are creating, we'll call it sign up. But the table we are creating will have about 8 columns, which will include the ID, the first name, the last name, the email, the password, and the other 2 parameters that it will contain will be used when we create the email verification. But for now, let's just add 8 rows or 8 columns inside the database. We'll click on it, and we'll allow it to create the table. Now it's requesting for us to give the names and the types to the columns. The first one we are going to be adding is the ID. Now this ID is very important because when we want to get access to this table, maybe from other tables, we can make use of this ID, or when we want to get a user's data from this table, we make use of this ID. It's going to take a type of int, then we can give it a length of 11. Then what we're going to do is we're going to click, if you scroll to the right, you're going to see a column with head a_i, which means auto increments. So we click on it, a dialog will appear, then you click on go. What this means is for every data that will be added to the database, the value ID will be incremented. So the next thing that we need to add is we add the first name. We give it, it's going to be a variable character, a varchar. Then take, let's say 255. There's a value we'll give it. Then last name is going to be varchar as well. We give it 255 as well. We leave every other thing the way they are. Then the next one is the email. Also a variable character, varchar 255. After that, we give the password. It's also going to be a variable character, then 255. The next one is going to be called activation_key. That is the key that will allow the user to activate the email that will be sent. So we call it activation_key. It's going to be a variable character as well, a value of 255. Then another is going to be an enum value, which is the values will either be 0 or 1. So the default value will be 0, which means the user's email has not been verified. So once the user verifies his email, the value will change to 1. So the value will be updated to 1. So we can call it is_active. And the type is going to be enum. So we scroll down to look for enum. Here it is, enum. And we are going to set the values. So for this enum, we are going to set the values, add 2 values, 0 and 1. We're going to put that in single quotes. So single quote 0, they will separate with comma. The next one is going to be 1. So the default value is going to be 0. That is, we signify that the user has not verified his email. When the email is verified, it will be updated to 1. Then the last one is date. We can just add date underscore time. Just call it date time. Then we add a date to it. Then we click on save. Now with this, we've been able to create the table and add the different columns in it. So in the next video, we'll create the insert.php file that we'll use in inserting data into this database.